Hey, welcome to Half the Battle, and welcome back, my friends, to the summer of vehicles and playsets. Though we really haven't covered any playsets yet, have we? Let's fix that right now.
So meet the G.I. Joe Watchtower. This toy was released in 1984 with all original parts. And first impressions? It looks kinda cool, but also kinda flimsy. It's the sort of toy that looks like it could fall apart at any moment.
To the point where I want to be as delicate as possible while handling it.
It's also a bit cramped. It does hold one figure without any issue, but if you want two in there, then it gets really cozy really fast.
Detailing is quite good.
It really does look like a metal construction with the rivets and the crossbeams and all that. Plus the sandbags really complete the look. I'm impressed that they paid attention to the inside too, as there's a pattern on the floor and even a molded-in ammo case, despite these being barely visible during normal play.
Speaking of play, that's rather basic.
You've got a searchlight and a machine gun, but they don't swivel, and a flag that's Old Glory on one side and the rarely used G.I. Joe flag on the other. Their motto is apparently honor, duty, courage, and not knowing is half the battle.
G.I. Joe!
Three sides have gunner slits in them, so a figure can crouch down for protection while still being able to shoot at the bad guys. The fourth wall has a functional door to crawl in and out of, leading to a small ladder, pictured here separately cause I couldn't find it. The gun, light, flag, and even the sandbags, which are removable, are easily lost, to say nothing of the ladder, so getting a complete one can be a bit of a challenge. Though the set itself and parts for it aren't that expensive on the secondary market.
The neat thing about this kind of playset is that you can use it on its own or attach it to other stuff.
It could be a sentry for your G.I. Joe headquarters, or you can put it next to the 1985 Checkpoint Alpha so the gate is guarded on both sides. That's the setup I prefer, as the checkpoint always seemed incomplete to me having just one tower. Of course, you can put both of them in front of a larger construction to add to it. I mean, you do you.
The point is that it serves multiple play purposes.
If you only had this as a kid, you'd have plenty of fun, but if you had more stuff, it could really add to the scene. Just wonderful stuff. Now, this little set didn't come with a figure. The box art has Roadblock in there, with Gung-Ho climbing up or down the ladder.
And that's fine and all.
But a more appropriate figure would have been Mutt, who was also released in 1984. I'm guessing they didn't use him on the box art because they didn't know what to do with Junkyard, as there's no room for him. They fixed this for the checkpoint art, where they are both there. Another good pick, if you don't limit yourself to the characters that existed in 1984, is 1987's Sneak Peek, especially since the box states the Watchtower helps the Joes keep an eye on the enemy. Overall, I think this is a nice little playset, but I wish it didn't feel so fragile.
As far as other media go, well, there really isn't anything to tell.
The Watchtower wasn't featured in the cartoon or in the comics, though I'm sure structures resembling it could be seen in both. The only appearance I could find is in a commercial that also introduced other small playsets and new 1984 G.I. Joe figures. So yeah, that was the Watchtower. Cool but fragile. This episode almost qualifies as a Saturday shorty, but hey, they can't all be deep dives, and there was some fun and interesting stuff to talk about.
Well, I'll see you next time, everybody, and hey, why not like, share, and subscribe if that's your thing?